truth, deceit, and the effecality of lies.
Part 1. Lying has existed since the dawn of humanity, once commented on by the ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle, stating all that one gains by falsehood is not to be believed when he speaks the truth. Before we begin discussing the popular morals surrounding lies, let's define them. Cicely Bock is an American-Swedish philosopher and author of a major philosophical book on the topic. Lying, moral choice in public and private lives, defines a lie as simply as an intentionally deceptive message in the form of a statement, and can be categorized by the following points. A lie communicates some information, the lie intends to mislead, and the liar believes that what they are communicating is not the entire truth. The lies are not always malicious. Those with good intentions are considered white lies, defined as a harmless or trivial lie by Oxford Dictionary. Part 2. Now that we understand the rules, let's play. The beliefs surrounding lying can be summarized into 3 broad philosophies.
Mutual love ethic. A person following mutual love ethic would always ask, what's the loving thing to do? Under the idea that it promotes love between God and humans as well as humans and humans. Likely, the most common moral about lies, mutual love ethic, would state that all lying should be avoided as deception is harmful. However, white lies are forgivable, whether it be to soften the blow of bad news, help more people overall, or to mislead a person in order to help them.
Consequentialism. Similar to the quote from Aristotle and more recently the fable of Boy Who Cried Wolf, consequentialism preaches prioritizing the outcome by measuring out the pros and cons in an ends justify the means ideology. Applied to lying, the utilitarian approach would argue lying ought to be avoided as consistently lying diminishes all trust we have for one another. Lies create uninformed decisions, and furthermore, lying corrupts the liar. If they regularly indulge in wrongdoing, they'll become more comfortable with other forms of unethical acts. When all of this is summarized, a consequentialist would argue that lying is unethical, as the outcome is undesirable for individuals and society as a whole.
Deontology. The deontological argument totally opposes the consequentialist, asking whether or not the act itself is wrong, barring outside factors. This argues lying is a basic moral wrong, that there are things which are naturally bad, lying included, and that lying is wrong because it's something a good person wouldn't do. Some religious folk argue the act is unethical because it misuses the God-given gift of human communication. Similarly, some philosophers argue that we have a responsibility to communicate the truth and knowledge for the betterment of society, and the power in language and conversation enables people to make a contract in which people are disallowed from using language untruthfully.
Part 3. Discussions and personal views.
Let's begin with debating mutual love ethic. Obviously, the idea of the loving thing is wildly subjective and therefore completely contestable, as love is completely subjective and contestable. Take the idea of a friend having an addiction. Mutual love ethic cannot truly solve this conundrum without another method of thought, as to empower the friend with autonomy, protect their trust, and not intervene would be the loving thing to do. However, this enables the addiction. Say you need to lie to help them. This seems like the loving thing to do, but requires infantilization, betrayal, and deceit.
Next is consequentialism. This train of thought can be dismantled through simply weighing up agendas, as well as immediate consequences versus long-term concerns. A white lie is for a good reason and exists with purely good intention, and lying in itself won't have any drastic immediate consequences. However, it's always misleading to some degree, so the trust between the liar and the liee will be degraded, as will, to an extreme degree, the trust between all people. Therefore, there is a requirement for outside sources in this debate. You cannot simply make a decision on consequences when there are vast amounts of variables, so weighing up of the pros and cons must be applied.
Finally, we have deontology. This belief has flaws considering the nature of humans. Linking back to Aristotle, we humans have been likely lying since we found out that cold hard truth can be avoided with flowery lies. Therefore, the idea that something as innate as lying should be considered deplorable is frankly unrealistic, and puts people at an unreasonably high standard, which even the best of people cannot achieve. A society with no lying and absolute frankness would solve many world issues, but also be a tad unpleasant.
Then there is the most classic rebuttal against deontological beliefs of lying. What if you had to tell one lie to stop 10 lies from being told? Then this debate undermines itself because there is no purely deontological answer. This requires other modes of belief. This brings us to the final topic of discussion. What do we think? Overall, these are all deeply flawed arguments between the fact that love is subjective, the endless variables of humanity, and the hypocrisy of deontology. There isn't an answer. Realistically, we could delve deeper and look into romanticism and hedonism and egoism, but there wouldn't be a singular answer there either. We both think consequentialism is the most logical and coherent approach, and realistically, you might be able to find a reasonable answer there. And deontology would provide an answer to lying corporate industries, but it's hypocritical and somewhat McCarthyist, while mutual love ethics seems attainable but hardly dependable. So our thoughts land on this. Balance is key. Balancing the morals of each ideology, balance between idealism and realism, and balance between context and morality. We'll conclude on this note. Humanity is inherently flawed. Treat everyone with respect. You are loved.